Hello, welcome Slashers, Knifecrypt here, and welcome back to my channel. Now for today's video, I'll be breaking down Chucky the TV series trailer 2. That is right, I took down a lot of notes, and now I'm ready to break this down. I apologize if this video is coming a bit late. With all that said, I'm gonna shut up and get into the trailer breakdown. Let's get into this. And before I fully dive into this breakdown, I want to first say check out my previous breakdowns that I did in the past on the Chucky TV series, just so you guys aren't completely lost. Most of everything you need to know are in those breakdowns, so I would definitely recommend going to watch those real quick before you watch this video. Now let's do this. Before completely hopping into this trailer, yes, I know I keep saying I'm gonna get into it, but one more thing before we do this. As confirmed by Don Mancini in his own trailer breakdown, that's right, Don Mancini has his own trailer breakdown. The series takes place 2 to 3 weeks after the events of Cult of Chucky. Don Mancini also claims that there's gonna be a ton of Easter eggs in the series as well, so if you're a true fan like me and others, there's a lot to look forward to. No more interruptions now. Let's do this. The trailer starts with Devon Lopez, a true crime junkie and love interest for Jake, giving insight to Jake about Hackensack, New Jersey, and how it's a haven for bizarre, fucked up, and criminally insane activity, while footage of people dressed up and trick-or-treating plays. So apparently it wasn't $10 that Jake got the doll for, it was $20 that Jake got the doll for after browsing around a yard sale. A yard sale put together by a sweet woman by the name of Mrs. Jolly. In this moment though, Jake is probably looking for dolls to add to his sculpture. Mrs. Jolly, the woman that Jake gets Chucky from, has no idea where he came from. My question is, how does he end up there? And why? Is Chucky actually anticipating being bought by someone? Or does Chucky plan to murder the woman who's selling him? Now that's something to think about. So not only is Lexi creeped out by Chucky, but so is Junior. And I wonder why. I wonder if there is any weird experiences with Chucky leading up to this point. Jake's aunt, who's on the phone when Chucky speaks, in the good guy voice, it's probably at this moment that Chucky is about to strike and attack her. Dumbass hair. If you look closely here, Chucky's eyes are subtly moving downward in this shot. It's really easy to miss, but it's probably in a moment where Chucky doesn't want to reveal himself, and there's like maybe a scene going on, like people having a conversation, or someone's doing something, and he's trying to keep a close eye on them. Andy Barkley calls Jake, trying to warn him about Chucky and to check his batteries. How does he even know Jake has Chucky? And how did he get Jake's number? Did he somehow see Jake with Chucky? Did he find his number online? From speculation, people believe that Jake may put the doll up for sale online, changing his mind about the whole sculpture thing, and trying to make some money. And Andy at this point ends up finding it and calling Jake's number, which would probably be attached to the listing of the good guy doll on the site that he's selling it on. Andy may be searching everywhere online for good guy dolls on sale and whatnot to possibly prevent more killings by warning people. How Chucky gets up off the counter here is not only a badass shot, but the fact that he grabs a knife makes me think that at this point Chucky either kills Jake's dad or goes after his uncle or aunt. But he looks super menacing here. Here we get more Devon Lopez explaining who Chucky is to Jake and the legend behind Charles Lee Ray. I will explain. It's nice to get a character deep into true crime in the series. We also see an article calling back to Child's Play 1 that says 6-year-old boy says Chucky did it, and I believe we have seen this same kind of article or articles like this in previous Chucky movies. Then after that we see an online page of articles about Chucky. The first 3 articles being about the events of Child's Play 1, like for example, the article about a babysitter who is, as we know, Aunt Maggie, or as Andy called her, a real bitch. One article talks about how an explosion left one dead. That's obviously about Eddie Caputo. If they have articles about him in this shit, I bet you we may or may not get some backstory on Eddie Caputo in the show, like the history behind Eddie Caputo and Charles Lee Ray and how far back they go. Teacher beaten to death is obviously about Child's Play 2 and Miss Kettlewell, who has been very, very naughty. And the last article is about the Playpals CEO from Child's Play 3, who gets strangled with a yo-yo. If there's one word of advice that I would give that CEO of Playpals, I would tell him that he should have never fucked with the Chuck. Also, I do want to note this real quick. I like how on the search bar up there, they just searched good guy doll violence. Why not Chucky murders or something like that? We get a shot here of who I believe is a young Charles Lee Ray in a room with two girls. A girl sits there and watches terrified, and so I wonder if this so happens to be Tiffany and her sister or her mother. Maybe Chucky is about to kill Tiffany's sister or mother, whichever it may be, because we do know Tiffany has a sister due to some dialogue in Seed of Chucky, and we also know that Chucky did in fact kill Tiffany's mother due to some dialogue that's also featured in Seed of Chucky. And so what I think is maybe Tiffany is in on this murder, or maybe she's against it, but because of her love for Chucky, she's manipulated to stay quiet and stand beside him. The series will not only explore the backstory of Charles Lee Ray, but it'll also dive into how Chucky and Tiffany met. And with that said, since Chucky did mention something about killing Tiffany's mom and Seed of Chucky, and we do know that Tiffany does have a sister, that could mean that we'd be seeing the death of one or both. Bloody Good Guy Footprints, which is an obvious callback to Child's Play 1. The floor with the footprints looks like a warehouse of some kind. The Good Guy box returns in this scene where Jake is holding it, looking at Chucky in the box. Where did he get this box from? Because it didn't seem like it was at the yard sale. And this is the first we're seeing the Good Guy box in a very long time, as we haven't seen this box return in anything Chucky related since Child's Play 3. Perhaps this is a different doll because it seems like there will be more multiple Chucky action in this series. More on that later. This close-up of Chucky's eyes is pretty awesome, and I wonder if Chucky is talking to Jake here, or if he's maliciously stalking prey. Also, Chucky says his iconic "I'm Chucky Wanna Play" in his authentic voice and not his good guy voice, which we haven't really heard before, and I think it really adds more menace since it's in his regular voice. I like how Chucky uses his shoes as a diversion to get Lexi out of the precinct. Sorry, wrong movie. But the fact that Chucky does this calls back to my old Sinister Posse vs. Krampus skit that I made in late 2015 during Christmas time. But overall, this is a pretty clever move on Chucky's end. We've seen Chucky play with this prey a few times in previous films, but we haven't seen this in a while, and so I think that it's pretty interesting that he actually uses this as a way to go after Lexi. Also, Lexi, what the fuck are you doing smoking that joint? No ganja for you. Big no-no. Also, more on that joint later because I have a theory regarding that joint, and no, it has nothing to do with getting high. I think I should just clarify that. And Chucky is now back to jumping on people's back. We haven't seen this in a while, but Chucky attacks Lexi jumping on her back. This is also the room that the fire starts in, I believe. Again, more on this later. To kick off this cool shot of Chucky, it seems like in this scene, Chucky talks with Jake about how he ended up as a doll. In this shot of Chucky cutting the cake, as a kid, he looks at least 8. And in the shot after that, we get a shot of Chucky as a teenager. And this trailer alludes to this just by the fact that Chucky's doll face aligns with a teenage Charles Lee Ray. So it's obviously Chucky aka Charles Lee Ray as a teenager. It was your standard Voodoo soul transfer. Interesting how he just casually sits there with Jake, explaining everything to him. Chucky's usually he's aggressive, so it's a bit different to just see him chillaxing talking to Jake. It's probably a manipulation tactic to let Jake in, thinking that he's friendly, he's not going to do anything to him. And then when he doesn't need Jake anymore, he switches the script. Chucky broke his soul into pieces, says Andy in a scene with Kyle in the car. It's honestly so nice to see them again on screen together. In this shot, it's kinda hard to tell, but looking closely at it, we see Chucky's hands and stuff, but it looks like other Chucky dolls overlaying this shot. Like there might be more than one Chucky in this series just based on this shot alone and how it looks. This scene may possibly take place in an abandoned good guy warehouse, which would honestly be pretty awesome, and it would also be a callback to Child's Play 2 because of the good guy factory. We also still have no idea what happened to the Chucky with one arm from Cult of Chucky. They may show us what happened to that Chucky because if they're doing multiple Chuckies again, they're definitely going to have him in there again. I would assume so. I doubt that the Chucky from this series is that same doll just due to the state we last saw that doll in at the end of Cult of Chucky. Also, don't think I forgot about the Tiffany doll obviously possessed at the end of Cult of Chucky. No way they forgot about that. I'm sure that that doll will pop up in the series at some point to get a few kills in herself. In this cool shot of Chucky sitting there as an innocent looking good guy, Andy and Kyle dressed in nice suits aim their guns at Chucky in a shot that screams Pulp Fiction. That's literally the first thing I thought of when I saw this. But I doubt that these two shots are from the same scene as the lighting in both scenes are different. Also, Kyle's face and neck are a little bloody, so I assume they got in a fight with Chucky which resulted in either Kyle's face getting a little bloody or her getting a little wounded. However, I believe that she just got some of Chucky's blood on her. I don't think she got wounded at all. She don't look wounded. But I believe this is one of the Chuckies they kill if they do multiple Chuckies in this series, which I'm pretty sure they'll do, because I would only assume that they're going to try to get Chucky's soul out of Nica's body. And I doubt Tiffany will let them have the drop on her either, but I could be wrong. But based on this shot, maybe Andy and Kyle or a Chucky doll slaying duo is set out to murder as many Chucky dolls as they can find. Andy mentions how the last piece of Chucky's soul didn't go into a doll, showing Nica possessed by Chucky. So like I said, I doubt their goal is to kill Chucky in Nica's body, but to get his soul out of her. Or maybe they'll try to kill Chucky in Nica's body just based on Andy pulling the trigger of his empty gun pointed at Nica possessed by Chucky at the end of Cult of Chucky. Tiffany saying long time no see, probably in a scene where they reunite with Chucky in doll form, but it seems directed towards Chucky in Nica's body. Maybe they parted ways for a while at some point. Couldn't have been that long though, so I can't see them splitting up, but I don't know. Chucky and Nica's body, however, states, "Today is my lucky day." It looks like she's opening a box or something. I will say real quick that Fiona Durf really does a good job at copying her father's mannerisms, because if you don't know, Fiona Durf is the daughter of Brad Dourif, who plays Chucky, and she does a pretty damn good job at imitating his mannerisms, because in this show, when all this takes place, Chucky possesses her body. More additional shots of Jake looking for Chucky Halloween night. It's gonna be so cool seeing a Halloween centered episode on this show because we haven't seen it before. I don't think any of the movies have ever been centered on the holiday Halloween itself, so that's super exciting to me. Chucky looks disorienting in that mirror, which looks to be connected to this hospital scene with Jake's cousin Junior, who is in the hospital for some reason. Looks like he must have gotten hurt at Chucky's cause. But I can only assume that maybe Junior tries to escape here after he sees Chucky in that reflection of the mirror. Maybe he sees that and he's like, oh shit, gotta go. Chucky looks to be pushing a cart to sneak around the hospital. This could also be the school, but I can't really tell. But this shot makes him look like he's going wee all the way home. It looks like Lexi might be getting chased by Jake here due to these shots, and that could be due to manipulation towards Jake by Chucky. To mention some of what Devin Lopez is saying here, he mentions that Chucky was born in Hackensack and must be on a mission since he made his return. At this point, it seems like Devin Lopez knows that Chucky is alive and wants something for whatever reason. I think that thing that Nica mentions in Cursed Chucky leads up to this moment in the franchise. Completion anxiety, which makes him feel like as if he has unfinished business. He must see to it that he finishes said business. We have big plans for this place, Tiffany says to a realtor. It seems that she may be trying to invest in a house or something, as Tiffany walks onto property with the realtor with a for sale sign. Also, here's a bonus. Tiffany still has her old red car. How does she still have this red car? It's beyond me, but it's still pretty neat that she does have it still. This new shot of Chucky saying it's kill or be killed is such a cool shot as he looks out the window, possibly stalking someone. At this point, I believe that Chucky tells Jake about his first ever kill and is trying to get Jake to murder people. More on this later because I have some plot synopsis for the first 3 episodes that I will be reading that will add to this. Earlier, we saw Chucky grab the knife from the counter, and now here we see him hop down, which looks great. I feel like they pulled this off very well. At this part with the maid, it looks like Chucky grabs her legs and makes her trip and fall or something here because she falls and gets impaled on those knives. Nica, possessed by Chucky, holding the taser as she laughs is pretty unsettling. Some unlucky person is probably going to get their balls tased. No one knows what's going on, says Jake's uncle, who is one of 2 twins Devin saw while plays as he drinks. At this point, the other twin, who is actually Jake's father, has probably died by now, long by now. At this point when this scene is happening though, there has probably been a ton of murders, which probably has a ton of people confused, and is wondering why the spike in murders. I think they mean coming of age story literally, as Chucky probably holds a grudge against the families who live in Hackensack. In this shot, it looks like Chucky is waiting for Junior to get closer before he maliciously attacks him, which could be why Junior ends up in the hospital. We can't make out Junior's face here, but he looks like he may be concerned there, like he's suspicious of the doll. Welcome home, says Tiffany, which I believe is what he's saying to Chucky since Hackensack is where he's from. It'd be so cool though if it were Tiffany in doll form along with Chucky, as we did see her in doll form at the end of Cult of Chucky. That'd be so cool if they had that in there. As if she's talking to both of them. We see 2 different shots, one of Jake pulling hedge trimmers off the wall, and one of Junior examining a knife, and he wears the same hoodie as in the shot with Chucky that we talked about earlier. And so maybe he intended on trying to stab Chucky with that knife but is outsmarted. And in this part, it looks like this shot with Jake stabbing down with the hedge trimmers takes place at school due to the surroundings. It looks like he may be trying to stab into Chucky or due to the height of the stab. What if Chucky manipulates him into killing someone? Due to previous shots we've seen, as well as a plot synopsis for one of the episodes, like I said, I'll talk about that at the end of the video. We know that Chucky will be trying to manipulate Jake into killing alongside him. Maybe he's successful in doing this. I could see this theory being untrue, but it's fun to think about, and I do think that this has some kind of truth to it. And here we are, back at the scene with Lexi. The room she's in is literally the same room that gets caught on fire. I believe what she was smoking earlier in the trailer is why her room caught fire, since she probably dropped the joint on one of the curtains or something, which resulted in her room catching a flame as Chucky inches towards her, trying to kill her. You could tell she's freaked out as she's crying and Chucky laughs at her misery. I'm too old for this shit, Chucky says, which may be Brad Dourif's thoughts after playing Chucky again, since he's literally went 30 plus years strong playing this character. The soul of Chucky technically ages, I think, and his appearance should also be aging, but I don't know whatever happened to that plot point in the series. But nonetheless, Chucky looks great here. I believe this scene might be connected to the last, but Chucky pulls the knife out of the carpet in a really cool shot where he is literally about to charge here at Devin Lopez, as we've seen in behind the scene footage of the TV show. A lot happens here, so I have to go in slow-mo to catch everything. I think Chucky cuts to a bedsheet here, it looks like, probably in an effort to try to get someone through a bed, or maybe someone in a way to try to defend themselves covers Chucky in a bedsheet to try to save their life, but he cuts through it in a rage. For some reason, it looks like Chucky gets into a fight with Nica possessed by Chucky. That looks exactly like Nica, so it looks like they get into a disagreement for some reason and lash out at each other. Or maybe perhaps Nica broke free of Chucky's possession. However, that wouldn't explain how she'd be able to walk while free of Chucky's possession. My response to this is, since Charles E. Ray stabbed Nica's mom with the voodoo knife while pregnant with Nica, maybe the power of voodoo has prevented her from walking for all these years, and due to becoming free of Chucky's possession, it also unlocked her ability to walk. That's just a theory. I don't know how true that would be, and it probably isn't true. I've had this theory for Nica for quite a while, because to be fair, how is Chucky able to walk while possessing Nica? Is that just like supernatural power that allows him to walk as Nica? I don't know. But that's the end of this trailer, and with that said, that's the end of the breakdown. Before I talk about the plot synopsis for episode 1 through 3, I want to break down 2 TV spots that have been shown on the Sci-Fi Channel, and if I'm being honest, I don't think they should be doing any more TV spots because they're kind of spoiling stuff, but you know what? Let's break this stuff down. For the first TV spot I will be talking about, the TV spot starts with Devin Lopez talking about how there's a killer on the loose. At this part of the series, no one's aware of Chucky being the killer yet. Well, probably except for Jake. And in this scene in the TV spot, Lexi is trying to tell Devin Lopez that Chucky is alive. This is what causes him to say, "Chucky?" in a confused way. In one of the behind the scenes videos, Jake here talks about how something doesn't make any sense towards Lexi. Probably the idea of Chucky being alive would be my guess. Lexi questions what are the rules for supernaturally possessed dolls in a scene where I believe the group of teenagers come together to try to figure out how to defeat Chucky, which is followed up by an awesome shot of Chucky opening a door, which may in fact be Lexi's house. This scene takes place at the hospital, most likely where either Lexi's sister or Junior is kept. Jake and Lexi talk about Chucky and how speaking out about him can result in them being put away. So whatever happens that caused this hospital scene must be why and how Lexi knows Chucky is alive. Lexi's sister says he wants to give you a hug, obviously talking about Chucky, which is probably directed towards Lexi or her parents. And then once they give him a hug, he brings back the strangulation so that he can keep the circulation going. Everyone around you dies, says Junior to Jake. They probably suspect Jake of being behind the murders, which if I had to guess, one or both of Junior's parents may be dead at this point. Just a guess though. This shot is followed by another shot of Jake looking sad in a scene that probably also takes place in a funeral setting. This shot of Chucky stealthily pursuing Lexi in this scene looks really fucking cool. She won't even know what hits her, or in this case, stabs her. While this goes on, Lexi mentions how Chucky is trying to kill them, followed by Devin saying how they gotta find and kill Chucky. I love this shot of Jake in probably Junior's house looking for Chucky with the baseball bat, while Chucky is also right above him running around. He has no idea he's right on top of him. It looks so cool. Looks like Chucky is gonna get to use a scalpel again, as in this shot, he picks one up, which obviously takes place at the hospital. Looks like someone's gonna have a medical accident. My guess? Probably Junior. We see shots of the gang together, one in the school and the other in the warehouse. They talk about how they must do this together, and Lexi wants us to know 100% that she was the first one to say together, Also, that thing Devin is standing next to looks like it has plastic bags filled with stuff in it, but I can't make out any of it or what's in it. Coming up, we see a shot of Chucky flying after probably getting kicked by Devin in the scene where he charges at him. Silly old me. Actually, Devin is using a taser here. Probably the same taser that Nica possessed by Chucky uses. So Nica possessed by Chucky somehow probably gets that taser from Devin so that she could use it. A look at the gang exploring some unknown place looking for Chucky. Chucky turning his head around as Lexi watches in the background, which looks fucking dope actually. Lexi screaming about something. Probably someone dies or she gets startled by Jake or something, as he's right there. And it looks like due to her shocked reaction, she falls over the railing in an abandoned house. So I guess this whole scene and every shot in this scene is set in some kind of abandoned house. My guess is this abandoned house is Charles Lee Ray's childhood home, and they may believe that they can find Chucky here. Maybe Chucky is looking for something around here, and the gang of teens follow him there to try and kill them. That's the end of the first TV spot. Let's go on to the second one. We start off the second TV spot with a pretty awesome look at the good guy doll. I really love how he looks here. Chucky says, "We're gonna party like it's 1999, obviously talking to other Chuckies in a multiple Chucky scene. This scene is why I think they should stop releasing TV spots and trailers. 2 trailers were enough. Now they're spoiling too much in my opinion. That's firstly. And secondly, this just looks unfinished to me. Lack of eye and facial movements. His movements look more puppet-like puppets on a string. And what he says, "We're gonna party like it's 1999? What? I'll be honest, I don't like it. I'm not a big fan. It just comes off as a little too much in my opinion. Just doesn't fit for his character. This is one of the only times so far this series has done something that put me off, because this put me way off. People just want to see Chucky as a badass and scary again, and that's how I want to see him. Whatever story beats they throw in there along with that is totally fine, but Chucky's behavior is super important to capturing the old vibe that people love about Chucky. But this is all just my opinion, don't take it as fact. What do you guys think? I hope the effects for this looks better in the actual show, because like I said, it looks very unfinished. But even if this scene did look finished in here, I don't like that it was included in this TV spot. Like I said, they're showing way too much. They should definitely cut back on it. It looks like in this shot, Andy is about to drive somewhere where he looks over to see a little girl holding a good guy doll possessed by Chucky. We haven't seen this girl before, I don't think, but I have a huge theory for what this could mean. More on this later, but this is followed by Devin talking about how everything leads back to Andy Barkley, along with Andy saying, "Murder isn't the worst thing Chucky can do to you," probably referring to Chucky's voodoo powers and how he can possess people. Here we see a shot of Andy in a suit around the time he probably kills one of the Chuckies. Andy looks extremely determined here. We see a shot of Kyle with her iconic hat and some dialogue that sounds like it says, "We're here to kill all of them," and I'm pretty sure that's Kyle speaking right there. "Chucky's not with anyone, is he?" says Andy. "Well, I hate to disappoint you, Andy, but he's got Tiffany, Nica possessed by Chucky, himself looking menacing as ever. Tiffany looks to be getting some makeup work done, so there's that too, Andy. Tiffany and Nica possessed by Chucky looking to set up for the craziest plan imaginable. I don't think you're ready for this, Andy, because of what I'm about to say next. Good guys in the modern age. Yep. And why does Tiffany happen to be up there with the mayor clapping and celebrating? Well, Dua got a crazy ass theory for you guys. So, I have a feeling that Tiffany was somehow able to buy Play Pals, who were responsible for selling good guys before being shut down due to Chucky's terrible deeds in the first 3 movies. But I believe that she bought this company so that they can make and release more dolls for people to buy. So, pretty much, I bet their plan is, since they now own Play Pals, they plan to sell Chucky dolls everywhere around Hackensack and probably around the world, so that Chucky can be at multiple places at once and murder multiple people at once. That's probably why Tiffany says they have big plans for this place. This feels very probable just because of that truck filled with good guys. And of course Tiffany's up there clapping with the good guy. And to end my breakdown for this TV spot, when Nica, possessed by Chucky, says that today is her lucky day, she's playing poker. I guess Jennifer Tilly taught Chucky a thing or two about how to play poker, since Jennifer Tilly is a pro poker player herself in real life, I'm pretty sure. But those were the breakdowns for the TV spots. I also promised how I was going to read the plot synopsis of the first 3 episodes, and I'm not breaking that promise, so let's read those. For episode 1, which is titled Death by Misadventure, when teen Jake Wheeler buys a vintage doll at a yard sale, his young life changes forever. For episode 2, which is titled Give Me Something Good to Eat, which we already know is going to be Halloween focused, the plot synopsis goes, Chucky targets one of Jake's frenemies, forcing Jake to either stop the killer doll or help him. Which is what I was talking about earlier. Chucky's gonna try to get Jake to murder for him, and this is one of the ways he's gonna try to do it. I already know that Chucky's gonna set out to murder that kid that bullied Jake in the trailer. The don't forget your boy toy kid. I know that's already the kid that he's going after, and so we'll find out if Jake's gonna gut, or if he's actually gonna try to stop Chucky. For episode 3, which is titled I Like to Be Hugged, the plot synopsis goes, Chucky reminisces about his first murder, urging Jake to make a choice of killing or being killed. Which is that line, the it's killed or be killed, everyone's gotta choose. That's where that comes from. And this also adds to Chucky trying to manipulate Jake to doing bad shit. And with that said, we never really seen this from a Chucky movie. So I'm actually really excited to see how they write that and how they pull it off. But I found those plot synopsises on Reddit though, so let me know what you guys think of them. If you find them interesting, they sound pretty legit. They don't sound made up at all. But I want to first disclose before I end off this video that a lot of people, myself included at first, were calling Jake Wheeler by Jake Weber, which I guess just due to that plot synopsis, his name is Jake Wheeler. Because I heard it in one of the behind the scenes videos and I just kept using Jake Wheeler instead of Jake Weber. I don't know though, it's really confusing, but I hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown. Let me know down in the comments below if you liked this video. If you guys did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content. Definitely subscribe to become a slasher. All social media links and my merch are below. Thank you guys so much for watching my Trailer 2 breakdown video. I am sorry if this video is coming a bit late. It's a lot to unpack, but hell, you know, it's fun to prepare for this show by doing this breakdown and enjoying this trailer. But I'm out of here. I'll catch you on the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget guys to keep on slashing.